afternoon. My name is Don Craig. Most of you know me as Little Donnie Craig. Because I have been Little Donnie Craig until I was long gone. It has fallen on me to conduct this ceremony. If I had a clue what I was doing, it would be much easier. I'll do the best I can, and we're going to try to get this wrapped up in about an hour and a half. There is no one here being honored that's under 70 years old. I will not impose extra words, because if you forgive me, I tell everybody if I go more than an hour and a half, I'm going to have 3 people die of AIDS and 6 bladders. There are restrooms through that door. Whether I'm speaking or anything else is going on, anytime one of you would like to use the restroom, you're not being rude to do it. So I'll start with my sheet and hope I can stick to it. Forgive me if I read it, because I'm not capable of memorizing anything. I want to welcome you here. This has been a wonderful voyage for me, and I hope it makes you as proud and happy as it does me. We have some people we owe a great deal to. First of all, this young lady over here, her name is Carol Jacobs. She's a superintendent of school. And when I approached her, I couldn't begin to have done it. And she and her staff, Mike Anderson and his staff, converted this room. Camille, earlier, receptionist. This isn't my accomplishment. This is certainly theirs. They deserve a lot of credit for it.
Speak up.
I will. I've been admonished by Glenn's marriage, don't do that. They don't call me Mumbles for nothing. We will take a break after we present to the men. Barbara Holt Johnson is going to come up here when we start doing the boys. She will pick up the next trophy. One of our children will walk with her to the recipient. We ask that you, if you're the recipient or the representative, when we get to you, you stand up. The children will come bring you your plaque and tell you congratulations. I tell everybody, it's been 60 years. It's about time somebody gave you credit for the effort you put in at Perley School. You have not been forgotten. These little kids are going to make sure you're not forgotten for a long time. Okay? We're going to start with the earliest inductees and go forward. And I thank you, Calvin, for making the effort to get here, because your dad's first. Almost. The graduates go back into the 1929. And we would have no historical information relative to the efforts of Bert Spofford and James Boynton, our principal, who in the 1950s was an impediment to our having a good time. But by the time we had accumulated a little experience and a little knowledge, we realized just how wonderful he was in the project that we know about. Okay, yeah, thank you. Where are you, Glenn? Don't throw anything. No, it's me. It's not the thing. I'll try. I needed a lot of supervision when I was here the last time. Are we good? Okay, somebody just raise a hand if I stop. Okay, and our Charlie Mendez is going to document this, and you'll all get a CD of this. We're holding our introductions to each person is very short because you're already tired of listening to me. And if we give all these guys a chance to talk, there'll be 20 minutes apiece, and we'll all be dead before we get. Okay? So I have to start with Jim Boynton. Jim Boynton's plaque. Barbara Holt, I need you. Barbara's going to help me. And Jim Boynton arrived here in 1936. His plaque is on the front. And there was nothing. There was nothing organized, anything, until Jim Boynton came here. His plaque will be presented to his daughter, Judy. Barbara's going to take that plaque and grab one of our children who will present your trophy to you and shake your hand. So you only need one plaque, and you can take any child you wish. Anyone you want. Okay. That goes to Judy. She's supposed to be standing up. Yes, she's standing up. And we'll give the plaque to the young lady. No. Some of we have a couple of recipients who would rather not stand up and walk. They're asking only that you stand up where you are. Okay. Now, our next inductee is Els Welch, but he'll be here later. Okay, but that's okay. Our next one is actually Bert Spofford. So I need Dickie to show his pretty face. Barbara, why don't you... The next one is Nelson Pingree. His plaque will... Yes. His plaque will be presented to his son, Calvin. The next person, Dickie, did you take your father's? Yes. The next person is Bert Spofford. His plaque was claimed by his son, Dickie. So our next recipient, now Bert Spofford chronicled sports for all of the teams in this area. He was an incredible baseball pitcher, and I tell everybody, he was baseball's Paul Bunyan in his day. And we would not have had half this information were it not for the efforts of Jim Boynton and his son Jimmy, Bert Spofford, and his son Dickie. The next inductee we have is Rolly Spofford, and it's going to be received by Phil. These two guys are incredible pitchers. We don't want to talk about what anybody did after they graduated from Perley High. But I do want to acknowledge a couple of things about a couple of people. That Dickie Spofford's father, Bert, was a career officer in the Army and graduated and retired as a full colonel. And I think that we all owe a debt to anyone who served this country. Okay, the next one is Johnny Kimbrell. And I don't know for sure who's going to...
His daughter Betty, John.
Betty, okay. His daughter Betty, we're going to bring that to you. Okay, Cecilia is going to present his trophy to his daughter. Johnny was an incredible basketball player. I'm trying not to say too much, but I'm forgetting to say things I've written down. Johnny Pickering. Johnny Pickering was my last find. He has 3 sons. Johnny was a really good baseball pitcher, extremely good basketball player. And his 2 sons are coming up, and his mom is going to present with, okay, he will present their trophies. Johnny had 3 sons, Michael, John, and James. Bob. That was my next guess. It's a good thing I'm not going to get graded on this performance. When I said I had no clue, if I hadn't told you, you'd have it figured out already. Johnny was my last find, what we went through to find Johnny. If I may, the Paul Pickering clan had disappeared. The Charles Pickering clan had disappeared. Nobody knew where to find Johnny Pickering. All you women will understand this. I know how to find him. If there's one planet, if there's one woman left on the planet that knows where Johnny Pickering is, it's his ex-high school girlfriend. We found him. He should be right in the front. He's over here. Oh. You're fine. Did you take your dad's? Calvin, you took your dad's, did you? That was my fault. But I want to give you all what I put Nell aside because we didn't know if Calvin was going to make it. But I want to read what I wrote about H. Nelson Pickering. Our next honoree is one of the most competitive people I have ever known. The last time I saw him, he was walking the golf course in his mid-80s, swinging and snarling at his golf ball as if it were a varmint that needed to be killed. He was scary, but he and his wife Liv opened their home to me and so many others. He could field, he could run, and he could crush a baseball with the same vengeance. He opened his barn as well in his home. His barn truly was the cradle of Pearly basketball. Virtually every basketball player, and that includes the football players and the baseball players too. You played one, you played them all. But virtually every athlete in Georgetown has played in that barn. And I failed to acknowledge a young lady by the name of Leah Cohen and her husband Ian. And they are opening the Pearly barn. So anybody that wants to go fire up one, we're going there after the show. So Calvin's already accepted his plaque, but I did want to acknowledge the gift that they gave to the kids from Pearly. We had such a special life, and that's a big thing. Okay, we did Johnny Kimball. We did Johnny Pickering. Jimmy Stein. Is Jimmy Stein's daughter here?
Yep.
You are Cynthia?
Cindy, yep.
Cindy. Jimmy Stein was hard to find. We found him. I wouldn't dare tell you how I did because half of it was illegal. But we found it. The night before last, I left a note in a mailbox on Del Rio, went up with Glenn. There was 2 cars there, no lights on, and I didn't know what to do, so I put a note in the mailbox and put a rock on it. It wasn't her house. The next day, I get a call from Cindy. She said, I said, well, I was at your house last night. She said, where? I said, in Salisbury. She said, I live in Plaster. That was her sister's house. Kevin is going to present the trophy to Jimmy Stein's wife. Jimmy Stein was an incredible pitcher. He played some basketball. The only thing I didn't like about Jimmy Stein was he was the best looking kid in high school and I was the ugliest. And I really didn't like that. Our next inductee, and he's not here, but he will be represented by his son Arthur, his brother Arthur. Amy Marceau has the highest aggregate batting average in the history of Pearly High. His brother, that was 3 years younger, didn't even know he played baseball. But he did. So Arthur's going to stand up, and who do you have, Barbara? It's going to present. Arthur's next. Okay. Don't turn around and run away. Our next inductee is already standing here. Arthur Marceau made the baseball team as an 8th grader. He made the basketball team as a 9th grader.
It's hard to get 9 people over.
He ran track as well, and he was a very major contributor to the greatest run of basketball of any sports ever in the history of Pearly High School. Lucky he was my friend. Lucky he was my classmate. His presenter is going to be Gavin. Glenn, am I talking loud now?
Doing well now.
I'm sure you'll let me know right away. Our next 3 honorees are special. The Pearly High School won 37 straight games between 1953 and 54. The books say 5 or 6, but it was 7. And in 1954 was the first time ever a basketball team was invited to the tech tournament. That's how good those kids were. They went to Class C and were totally outclassed. Arthur was in a wheelchair from rheumatic fever. We sure could have used him. But our next 3 recipients went in 55 in Class C and almost won it. If the referees had made a couple of bad calls, it would. So those 3 people added to the incredible record of 53 and 54, 20 and 2, and that includes the tournament record. So they won bushels of games. They won it as tri-captains, they won it as sophomores, they won it as juniors. How lucky can anybody be? Our first honoree in that group is Calvin Pingree, class of 55. His presenter is Madison. Calvin was a baseball player. Calvin also made the baseball team in the 8th grade. The next one in that group is Tri-Captain George James of the class of '55. George sent me a picture. It was taken in January of 2015. I had another picture that I'd already submitted to the trophy maker. They gave me that one. So you have to take your youthful picture. We'll get you the other one if you want. George James, okay, he was a tri-captain and he was one of the 3 people that had that incredible record. He played on the inaugural team of 6-man football. Calvin was his quarterback. But I say of George, the hardest shot to make on a basketball court is from the corner. You have nothing to look at except the rim. But George could always shoot from the corner. He led the team in rebounds and shooting percentage in 1953. And I was gone the next year and I didn't want to meet how good he was, so I never got a chance to. But he was the second member of that little triangle, and he played in every one of those games. So congratulations, Neil. That's yours. And if you want the other one, I'll mail it to you.
Don't deliver it.
I would. Anyway, the last member in that group is my caregiver, Glenn Stretch Smearage. Glenn from the class of '55, he was the tallest kid in school and he had to play the tallest guy from the other team. His job was to make sure that none of their offensive players got into the middle under the basket. If you take a quick look at Glenn's shoulders and hips, you'll understand why nobody ever did. He could shoot the ball, but he seemed to like beating people up more than he liked. So on the offensive end, he had basically the same job. And with Arthur and George coming in from the corners with nothing but room because the janitor had swept it out, and for Calvin and I to drive, there was plenty of room, and he seemed to like that better than shooting the basket. So I have to acknowledge that. Glenn's presenter is Carolyn Robinson. And, okay, I'm going to skip around here a little bit, forgive me, it'll be easier. As football began in Georgetown, or Pearly, there was 6-man football, nobody knew we were going to play it. But we had a couple of people who played football, and they were kind of little guys. But they could run like hell, if you'll forgive me, and nobody could catch them. I want to introduce them next. The first, with a smile on his face all the time, and really a demon when he's out in the field, was Skip Prescott, our first football honoree. Right. His presenter is going to be Cameron. That ain't no lie. He was also a very good baseball catcher. But we're trying to minimize not the efforts. We hope that all of you, by virtue of being here, know how important you are to the process that was Pearly High and Pearly High Athletics. The second running back acknowledged in that group was Chester Holt. Chester's kind of a quiet, unassuming guy, unless you're between him and the goal line. And then he takes on a different personality. This guy was also a terror. His presenter is Jeremy. In researching football to the best of my ability, because it didn't start till after I was gone, I'm thinking, you know, all these little running backs that think they're so good can't get past the line of scrimmage unless somebody makes a hole. So different names came up, and eventually Mark Calloway's name came up. He has somebody here. Where's Mark Calloway? Amy's here. Jane is here. You can both come. When most people wanted to know where to run, they just looked for the numbers on the back of Mark Calloway's shirt. That's where they ran. By the time they got to the line of scrimmage, you could drive your car through it. There are no statistics for defensive players in football, even in college, except for sacks. But his name kept coming up, and everybody I talked to said, oh my God. Okay? Mark Calloway's presenter is Colin. And it's between we have a couple of people that could not arrange to have either themselves here or somebody to represent them. We would like to acknowledge I-1 David Fuller, in the class of '59, was a tremendous kid, tremendous athlete, and after Glenn's class, Calvin and George, left school, there was a huge hole to fill that simply couldn't be filled. There were some good athletes who played, but they had to rebuild. When David Fuller and someone else that's here got to be added to that other group of players, the basketball team took off again. Dave Fuller was a very good defensive player and an extremely good scorer. His plaque is going to be mailed to him. He's on the wall. But there was nobody here on his behalf today. But I don't want to fail for 1 minute to acknowledge him. The next guy that you're going to meet is lucky to be alive. He was lucky to graduate from high school. I love defense, but our next honoree made the mistake of dribbling the ball between my legs in Joyle's barn. He is lucky to be alive. His name is Jimmy Holbrook. He's been a lifelong friend, and I hope he continues to be. Jimmy played, his strongest sport was baseball. He achieved a great deal, but we're trying to confine our remarks to prose. But he was a very good pitcher in baseball. He was also, I think it's fair to acknowledge his basketball efforts, because he was the highest scorer in the history of Perley School. Which means he's a very good shooter, but not so good a passer. I had to get one lick in, Jimmy, damn it. These people I love, and I could go on all day about them. But Jimmy's presenter is going to be Cecilia. As if I weren't old enough and forgot enough, our next honoree was trying to convince me I didn't know who he was. Furthermore, I didn't know who I was. This guy always is laughing. If you find him, where are you? He's laughing now. Joe Hart. You understand that, Joe, one of the best pitchers in the history of Perley High School. Good all-around athlete. His presenter is Kevin. There is one other young man, and he's supposed to be here. His name, I'll read you what's here, because I don't see him. Is Welch here? He was the principal of the junior high school. He was one of the most organized men I've ever known in my life. Today he is proof that time changes everything. He'll be here. If he's not here, he knows how to get to my house. But along with Jim Boynton Sr., who was everything, was part of the Perley process, was the renaissance of the school, the beginning of the athletic program, and as they say, somebody who was an impediment to a high school of jerks having a good time, became a valuable friend in my little life. His story could be told for an hour. I just simply want to say that Els Welch was a boys basketball coach, and he initiated the first year of a basketball domain. He didn't get his notoriety by dribbling or shooting. He was too small to even play basketball. But he could motivate, he could encourage, he could keep me under control. He was a wonderful man. I wish you were here so you could all take a look at him again. Some of you will see him at the reunion tonight if he remembers to go to that. So I will take his trophy to my home, so he will not have a presenter. My next inductee is my reluctant partner in this venture. No one asked her to help, but that's who she is. And I told her, you have to know everything, because if I get run over by a truck or decide to drop dead, you got to do it. Barbara Holt Johnson. Wanted to be a cheerleader until Jim Boynton dragged her out on the basketball. She was one of the main reasons that 53, 54, while she was here, and then 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60, established the most incredible run of girls basketball that I'm aware of. I'm not going to tell you what she did, because she did everything and she still does. But there's no one I would rather present a trophy to myself than Barbara Holt Johnson. I didn't even get to kiss her. You'd be glad you were looking the other way. That concludes my part. We're going to take a little break. We're not doing too bad. We're going to take a little break, about 10 minutes. They are going to bring out, and put somewhere, water, soft drinks, coffee.
Hello, everybody. Call to attention. I don't think my remarks will be quite as extensive as Dawn's, and maybe that will be to your liking, seeing it's already 2:30. But I will follow through with what I put together and find this a privilege to do so. The first female honorees of the inaugural Pearly Hall of Fame are Mary Jo Haskell and Barbara Kemp, both members of the class of 51. When thinking back to this time, I realized that I remembered so well both of these players on the basketball court. The reason my memories are so vivid is because my class, the class of 54, was the first 8th grade class to be housed at Pearly High School. And this was done because they needed extra space at Central School to establish 2 grade 1 classes. You couldn't help but feel the excitement when watching Mary Jo and Barbara performing on the basketball court. Barbara was the team captain for the 50-51 season. Paul Owens, Barbara's son, will accept both Barbara's and Mary Jo's plaques. The presenter is Miss Robinson, Barbara's granddaughter. Our next honoree is Alice Pingree, class of 1953. Alice was a force to be reckoned with, all 4 seasons on the girls' team. Alice was team captain in 1952. As an outstanding forward and always the game's top scorer, she once scored 30 points in a victory over the Hampstead team. In 1953, Alice won a trophy for converting 22 of 25 in the free throw contest. Alice was admired for her leadership skills as well as her basketball skills. Alice's brother Calvin Pingree will accept Alice's plaque. Her presenter is Liliana? Did it say Liliana? The next honoree is Faye Pleadwell, class of 1953, playing the position of left guard. Faye was team captain for the 53 season. Faye played a vital role in guarding the opposing team forwards, consistently retrieving the ball, passing it to a forward, and in most instances, seeing 2 points added to the score. Faye's daughter Jane will accept Faye's plaque. Her presenter is Isabel.
We don't do this professionally. It says your Faye.
The next 2 honorees are close to my heart. Janet Desjardins and Judy Dewhurst, both from the class of 54. Janet played all 4 seasons, 1951 through 1954, and was the girls' team captain for the 54 season, always playing a strong forward position. Judy, a former Groveland High student and basketball team member, attended Pearly beginning in 1953, following the closing of Groveland High School. Judy was an excellent addition to the team, making consistent contributions as our center guard. And its presenter is Abby. The next 3 honorees were from the class of 55 and constituted the core of the team. Shirley Hart, Martha Stewart. Let's begin again. Shirley Hart, Martha Dewhurst, and Jean Ricker. Shirley was a team leader, both in spirit and performance, as a center forward, always waiting to receive the ball from the guards. Martha Stewart and Jean Ricker. Martha, sister of Judy, and also a former Groveland High School student and basketball team member, attended Pearly beginning in 1953, following the closing of Groveland High School, and became a significant addition to the team for the 54 and 55 seasons. Jean, a member of the team for 4 seasons, 52 through 55, was very effective in her position as right guard. Jean was consistent in securing the ball, resulting in low scores for the opposing teams. Is Shirley's daughter here? Okay. Shirley's daughter, Karen, will accept her plaque, and the presenter is Molly. Martha's presenter is also Molly.
Well, I could do this every day.
And Jean's presenter is Molly. The next 2 honorees are Sue Nichols and Cheryl Spiro from the class of 1956. Both played significant roles all 4 seasons of their high school careers. Sue, a top player, was instrumental in the girls' team winning 8 straight titles. Sue also won the 54 foul shooting contest in the Valley basketball tournament. Cheryl excelled as the team's center forward and made significant contributions to the success of the team. Sue's sister, Nancy Perry, and son Michael will accept her plaque.
That's okay. I would like you to show these people what you showed me. The basketballs.
Right here.
Oh, that's
great. Got it.
Sorry.
Let me take it off.
We have tried to stay away from sonifying anybody.
Speak
But
up.
if you won a title, you gotta go basketball. Sue Nichols, right? She was an Irish.
And who's the presenter?
Okay, well, you're taking it over. Okay. Alex, our grandson. His name is? You okay? We're going to give the okay, we're going to give it to Alex. I'm sorry. We're going to give it to Alex. Congratulations.
Miss Powell, please call the front office. Miss Powell in the front office. Thank you.
I need your attention for just a couple more minutes. The following two REs, Judy Fuller, class of 1957, and Barbara Hannigan, class of 1959, are unable to be with us today. Therefore, their plaques will be forwarded to them. Both of these players were instrumental in the rebuilding of the girls' team, and they will be presented to the superintendent to be forwarded to the honorees. Each take one. Congratulations to all the recipients. And the only thing I'd like to leave you with is, this is the foundation of something that can be built upon. And I know there are athletes that were here during the time that we have recognized people, And if you know of someone, and you can take a nomination form and complete it, and get it back to us to give to the committee, we will be able to add name after name after name to this honor roll. Thank you.
I think I had detention one day that Els Welch supervised. He's going to show up at my house and I'll make him sit in the corner. For those of you who know him, know what a tremendous man he was. I'm only sorry that for whatever reason he didn't make it here. So forgive my lack of ability to do a good job with this. The important thing to me is that everybody recognizes what a contribution you made, not just to winning games, but to the spirit of your school, to the camaraderie that we all shared, that make the Pearly experiences the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. I can only thank you for coming, wish you well, and I'll see you all in another 60 days.
I cannot tell you, if this is a labor of love for him, and it has been hours and hours and hours, and it wouldn't have happened. He's nice to thank us, but it wouldn't have happened without him.
As one of the recipients today, I would like to recognize, commend, and thank Don for putting this all together, for his initiative to initiate this, his extensive effort to bring it to fruition, and his friendship too. Thank you, Don.
The Piggery Barn is open. And I want all you super athletes, you have directions, you exit the parking lot, turn left, turn left, turn left, and when you can't turn left anymore, park your car. And some of you can park along the roadway on Winter Street, but the lovely people that have opened the barn for you, okay, are waiting for you to come over and shoot. And for those of you, I went over there once with Barbara Holt, and she shot a layup and it went in. She handed me the basketball and said, "Your turn." I said, "No, I'm not taking a chance on missing it." But we are invited guests, and they've gone through the trouble of doing it. So for anybody that played at Pearly, you've all shot in that barn, okay? Last chance to beat the other couples. Oh, the Hall of Fame, by the way, is in front of where the old library used to be. We all know that. If you go up as if you were coming through the front door and into the library, you'll find a wall, one wall on your left and another wall on your right. And you're more than welcome to go up here and see what your legacy is. Okay? And I can only encourage you, I'm going to the barn even if I miss the shot.
I don't need a microphone, but it should be said that Don Craig himself is a member of this first class of inductees. He was a great basketball player for us, and he played football. I can't remember about soccer. We did not get six-man football till my senior year, and Don was gone. But let it be known that Don also is an inductee today.
Get to the barn. I know who can shoot, and if you don't show up, we're going to send you all a CD of this, and I'm going to